because afterwards, you know how all the games are aired on ABC, so post game and everything's on
ESPN.
ESPN with Scott Van Pelt,
Yep.
and he had Brian Windhorst on his post game show, and I've never seen Bro go off the way he did, but my goodness, if you guys haven't seen the clip, just it's all over Twitter. We can link it in the description if you guys want to go watch it. But yeah, he essentially went off. You want to explain it more? You feel free, can Gio. That was not even English, but go ahead.
Feel free, can Gio. Okay, but yeah, he absolutely roasted, obliterated, just disrespected Luka, and I would say rightfully so.
Yeah,
So part of what Windhorst said, Wendy, he was saying that Luka was just his whole entire attitude, his demeanor in the game was just terrible. Defense, he was a cone. That was probably the main thing that he said. He just horrendous on defense, and then also just constantly complaining, being the last one to come up or come down the floor on defense. It's just all around bad attitude, not a winning mentality from Luka, and he roasted him for it. And I think I agree 100% with what he was saying.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think body language is so important. I remember last year, remember Draymond's show? He was making a point during last year's final. This was I think it was either a regular season game or it was a playoff game. And Jamal Murray had the ball with 4 seconds left. Jokic was wide open, but Jamal wanted to take the shot. He takes a fadeaway midi over 3 people because he was getting triple teamed basically. He missed it. And Draymond pointed out Jokic's body language of not dropping his shoulders once, just gave it a clap
Wow.
nearly. And you're not seeing that from Luka essentially. I've watched the entirety of the Nets season this year. Spencer Dinwiddie was a problem with complaining to the refs. And it's actually fitting because they played together for a season and a half. But we witnessed this guy go up for a layup. He would get fouled, right? Spencer Dinwiddie's got one of the worst whistles I've ever seen. But it's just constant complaining every single time, and it just kills us.
Yeah.
Because you're going back 4-on-5 now, trying to defend against a good team, and the Nets aren't good to begin with. So it's a huge disadvantage for Dallas, especially this was the game too that Luka fouled out. We didn't even mention that.
Yep.
Yeah.
He fouls out with 4 minutes left in the game. That could have been a game-changing opportunity. I can't believe I forgot that. My brain just completely took a vacation.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the Windy rant was so warranted. I'm so proud of Brian Windhorst because it needed to be said, because this is a wake-up call for Luka. He's 25 years old, almost. I think he's either 25 or 26.
25.
Yeah, he's right up with his prime in a couple of
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
And if you're going to have this attitude, body language is so important as the best player on your team. And if you have shit body language, then you're not winning shit. That's essentially what it is. But what did you think about that rant, Antoine?
I think he hit it on the nose. I mean, I think after this game, I think even the teammates of him, the Mavs saw it, and they even told him to stop complaining going
Wow.
to Game 4. I don't know if
Yeah.
you saw that, yeah. But they had a meeting, and then they told him to stop this because I don't know if that was part of the Windy stuff or they were just tired of seeing it. But I'm guessing Luka thought he'd have a whistle that everything would go his way,
Right.
and he sees it's not happening, and it's just he just gets upset. And then also Boston notices that he's getting frustrated, and they just attack him. Not to mention he's already a cone on defense, which he needs to improve on tremendously this offseason to be an all-around great player.
Right.
And you saw Jaylen Brown say in Game 5, if Luka stays in, I'm staying in. Because he knows Luka ain't going to do anything against him defensively, and he'll just drive. He's home as well. He knows his own court.
Yeah.
Plus, it's the finals, too. It's not like you have another
exactly.
series to worry about. So you can expend
Yeah.
all your energy you have left.
Right.
And he's
Yeah.
not playing in the Olympics, so
Right.
Exactly.
he gets to just leave it
Yeah.
all out on the floor.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's what he did.
Luka needs to work on his game defensively. Offensively, I think for him, he needs to become a little more leaner. I think he needs
Luka.
to, yeah.
He has put on a little bit of weight
Yes.
since his earlier days.
Oh,
in the
yeah,
league.
he has.
He definitely got stronger, but I think he's put on a little too
Yeah,
much where
he-
he's not as mobile defensively because his
Correct.
lateral quickness has definitely declined.
Correct.
Over
Yeah.
the years.
He needs to lean up a little bit. I would say Jokic definitely is a bigger body than him, of course, being taller as well.
Right.
But he needs to lean up and get faster defensively with his hands,
Yeah.
with his feet, to get to blocking shots, to stealing passes and everything.
I
and
don't
so
even
on.
have to see that from Luka. He doesn't have to get the blocks and the steals. All I
doesn't.
want is
No.
effort.
He needs effort.
Yeah.
That's
and like
all I
the
wanna
effort, like the effort, or at least just be in the shape that Jokic is in. You see his stamina is just nuts compared
Right.
to the rest of the league. If Luka, even if he loses 10 pounds and just gets that endurance up a little bit more, it's going to be totally different going
Yeah.
forward. Where you're not, and also just stop relying on the whistle. That's always been the fault. If you look at a lot of the All Stars that aren't champions, Jimmy Butler, Joel Embiid, these guys rely to get to the free throw line to have good games. And you see them feast in the regular season, having 40 and 50-point games like it's nothing. But once you get to the playoffs, a lot of the possessions slow down. Physicality is not rewarded, or essentially it is rewarded, but also not. It depends on the referees, but they don't call a lot of those ticky-tack fouls
Right.
they do in the regular season.
Right.
And that's where it's important in the sense of, you know, if you look at like the Nets, for example, we have no whistle. So if we get to the playoffs, we're adapted to that style already.
Yeah.
Same thing with
Yeah.
the Nuggets. Same
That's
thing
good.
with San Antonio and Golden State and Indiana. And that's why they were able to always succeed. So I think that was my biggest takeaway from game Game 3, sorry, in the sense that it wasn't as far as the game itself. It was more of the optics, because Luka's optics looked really bad throughout that.
What do you mean by
entirety.
optics?
Just the optics is how you're perceived, essentially. So, you know, like what's like a good example? Like, you know, the Russell Westbrook when he was not like when he was in the Lakers, his optics were horrible,
Right.
essentially. And now with him, you know, prime OKC, the optics were phenomenal.
Right.
So I think this game was really optic based, because I mean, losing this game essentially lost in the series, because after this finals, teams are now 0-157 when going down 3-0, and they're 0-15 in the NBA Finals. So essentially, that right there lost in the series. Luka fouling out, putting himself in that position to foul out of the game, and then having the audacity to tell his bench to challenge it.
Yeah.
That's
That
not
was
good.
next level
Yeah.
atrocious right there.
Very bad. And Jason Kidd didn't. Props to Jason Kidd for not challenging it, or he might have challenged it. I
think
don't
he
know.
did.
I think he might have.
think
He shouldn't have, because, well, I mean, props to challenging it, because it's the last resort. But like at the end of the day, it was one of the clearest fouls I've ever seen in my life. So
It's unbelievable how you can have a foul, right? And
Yeah.
then you get pissed at the ref for calling the foul. I've never understood that.